Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got something rather exciting. I have got a sample set here and it's from Andy Tower, so Tower Perfumes, and this is called the Superstar Discovery Set. I ordered this directly from the Tower website and it went to my mum's house in France because unfortunately Mr. Tower can't deliver to the UK. I'm sure that that's probably a Brexit reason, but I'm not sure. And so luckily for me, I have a mum in France, and that means I can sometimes get things sent to her if I can't get them here in the UK. And so I ordered this. The main reason that I ordered this, I actually have tried and even owned a full bottle of one of these perfumes, but I ordered it for two reasons. Let's undo it. So I'm not going to go through all these fragrances today. I'm going to talk about mainly the one that I ordered it for, and it's a brand new fragrance from Tower and it's called Golestan. And so I'm going to undo the little tin. So Tower samples, when you order directly, come in a very cute little tin. I'm sure you could find a way to reuse the tin. And look, there's a nice little I thought it was like placemats. I'll show you. I thought there was little placemats. You know, that would be so cool. But it's a little leaflet and it's got some information about the brand. And yeah, so it doesn't say anything about the individual perfumes. So there's just information about the brand. And we have 5 perfumes in here. And as I say, the one that I mostly bought it for, let me find it. That's right. Was for Goldston. And I think it's about a palace. Goldston is, it's a kind of like a style, but it's also a palace garden. If you're interested, go on the Tower website or go on his Instagram. There's a lot more information. I've kind of forgotten because it was a while ago that I ordered these and got really excited about it. The bottle is amazing, really, really pretty, lots of colours, print. I think it's like flowers, and it's this Goldston style. So I've been really excited to try this. I've not been able to get it here in the UK. Les Senteurs in London do stock Tower, but at the moment I still don't think they have this one. I did ask them and they said they were hoping to get it before Christmas, so do keep your eye on Les Senteurs if you're in the UK, because that's the way that you can sample it and potentially buy it if you want to. Now I'm going to go on skin, and I can't remember the notes. I do know that it's mostly a floral perfume, so I like the sound of it. I can't remember the notes. I'm pretty sure it's like, whether it's rose, jasmine, other flowers, I really can't remember. I just really like the sound of it. So, oh, okay. How do we describe that? So, it's got sort of like a slightly pissy, almost greenness to it, which I'm not in a bad way. I know. It reminds me of something. What is that? Not tuberose, nothing like that. It's not like that. It doesn't smell filthy. I've smelt this before. Not this whole perfume, but there's this quite a strong note in here. I like it. It's a little bit, I'd say it's a little dirty, but not fecal dirty. Just a bit furry, like animal furry. It smells yellow to me, not mimosa, maybe a hawthorn type scent. Definitely got an undercurrent of undercarriage. It's got something dirty in it, I would say. Not cumin, more like, yeah, like smelling an actual animal. Now, I think there might be some civet in here, I'm not sure. Something like a civet note, or maybe it's the indoles from the white florals. It's extremely floral, but it's not quite the bouquet I was expecting. So it's not a typical white floral bouquet. It smells more yellowy to me, like a sort of like a hawthorn. I'm thinking of like wild yellow flowers, dandelions. You know, when you can smell the green of a meadow at the same time as the flowers. Definitely really reminding me of something. It's driving me crazy. It's something that I like. It's reminding me of a perfume that I really like, but I can't quite put my finger on it. But it's not smelling the same. It just probably has a common note. If I think about it, I'll let you know. Up close, it definitely has an animalic tone to my nose. And I would say possibly civet, if not it's indoles. Doesn't smell like oud, doesn't smell like poo, it kind of smelled a little urinal to start with. Maybe a little bit, but not in a curious way. In a better way than that, in a floral way, like how flowers and grass and everything together sometimes can give off slightly sort of like Uranus tone. It's got a sweetness and it has got a richness to it. I can't remember I can't remember any of the bloody notes now, but I know they really appealed, so it wouldn't surprise me if there's some resin and some vanilla, maybe, because it has got a real nice warmth and depth, slightly sweet, but not syrupy sweet, not gourmand sweet. I like this. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen here. I will put the notes on the screen because it's probably good to know what they are. I mean, it'd be good for me, wouldn't it? The best way I can describe it is like walking in this is an imaginary thing, because when you walk in a meadow, it's not smelling exactly how it smells if you romanticize it in your imagination. And I'm wearing a white floaty dress and I'm about 5 sizes slimmer and I've got long floaty hair. But you know what I mean. If you want to romanticize a meadow full of beautiful wildflowers with grass and definitely something a little, I guess I would say it's musky in a way, like in a clean musky way, but it's not like laundry. It's not laundry musk. Yeah, it's yellow and sweet, like pollen, almost honeyed. Yeah, honeyed, I would say. There's like a honey sweetness. Yellow flowers, honey sweetness, meadow, wildflowers, grass, slightly rich, sweet undertone that's quite natural. I really like it. I kind of knew I was going to, and I do. Sorry for the lighting. It's natural. It's coming in from the conservatory and it's the sun. You know, I can't control the sun as much as I try, and I encourage the sun to stay out as much as she wants to, as much as I want her to. You know, she will do what she wants and I can't rage against that. So sorry. Yeah. That's kind of really all I think I have to say at the moment. I am absolutely going to come back and talk about this in more depth. Hello, I've just been for a walk and it's just occurred to me what this Goldston fragrance reminds me of. And it's glaringly obvious now that I think about it, but it's L'air Du Desert Marocain. It has that powdery, balmy, sand-like spiciness, like this really smooth yet slightly powdery, spicy sand. I just repeated myself. It totally reminds me of L'air Du Desert Marocain, that signature nuance of the fragrance, like the main thing about L'air du Maroc, bloody hell, what's wrong with me? L'air Du Desert Marocain. There goes Aniela. If Andy Tower had sent me this sample and said, Claire, what would you call this fragrance? I would make it a flanker of L'air Du Desert. and I would call it L'air Du Desert Marocain. So that's how I sort of feel about it. It definitely reminds me, it's been a long time since I wore or tried L'air Du Desert Marocain, so be aware, you know, it's been over 2 years, but from my memory, it has such a distinct smell, and it totally reminds me of this, or this reminds me of that, either way. So in my humble opinion, it's quite similar to L'air Du Desert, but floral. I'm sure there's lots of differences. I can't compare them side by side. I haven't got L'air Du Desert, but I just thought I should add that on because it suddenly became apparent while I was walking, and I just had to share that thought. So there you go. I wanted to talk about another of the samples that I got here, and actually it's one that I'm really familiar with, one I used to talk about a lot, and that's Le Maroc Pour Elle. Now if you want to go back and watch Baby Claire back when she had really bad teeth that stuck out like this, I used to talk about Le Maroc Pour Elle a lot. It was one of my very first niche perfumes, so we are talking a long time ago. I sampled it in Les Senteurs, and I just kind of had to have it, and I had a bottle. Since then, Mr. Tower has reformulated Le Maroc Pour Elle, and I actually managed to get a sample in Les Senteurs just a few weeks ago, and I love it. I actually love the reformulated version more than I loved the original. Now, I can't remember the reason Mr. Tower did have to reformulate, for a specific reason or reasons. I think he had to drop the jasmine. It had a very big jasmine. I also feel, in my opinion, that I think there was oak moss. It smelled like there was oak moss in the original, which I pick out only once it really dried down. And I got this kind of like grassy, oaky, rooty scent in the base, and it was an absolute beast. It was crazy, and that's why I ended up selling the original formulation of Le Maroc Pour Elle, because it was such a commitment that I didn't choose to wear it very often, because it would last not just the whole day but the whole night, and I like to change it up. So I wasn't reaching for it, and I'd made this brutal decision to sell what was left of the bottle, and I kind of regret that, because it is and it was very special, and of course it was pretty much my first foray really into niche, along with 4160 Tuesdays. And yeah, so I sold it, and I did regret that, and I wanted to smell the current formulation, which I did in Les Senteurs. I've emptied my sample. I absolutely love it. It's not quite the commitment that it was, which works for me. I still get a whole day from it. But Le Maroc Pour Elle is it's jasmine, rose, colour, I don't know, the lighting's terrible. The colour is like, it looks yellow on my skin. It looked more red, I think, the original, but could be wrong. And Le Maroc Pour Elle to me is a rose jasmine with caramelized resins, so like an amber, an amazing caramelized resin, gooey, sticky dry down that's not mega sweet. Like, it's not syrupy, synthetically sweet. It's sweet because of these lovely resins, and I don't know if there's a bit of vanilla in amongst those resins. I don't know if it's classed as an amber. I would call it an amber. I would call it a floral amber, a floriental. It still smells quite strong. It's definitely strong, and it stained my skin actually. It's stained it yellow, you can see there. So don't be scared if you loved the original Le Maroc Pour Elle and you know that it's been reformulated. Don't think it's a weak reformulation. It is not. It's just that, to me, in my opinion, it's not so. I guess the dry down was a touch on the chypre-esque side. I don't think it was officially a chypre, I'm not sure, but now it's more sweet vanillic resins, whereas previously there was definitely, to me, a hint of more than a hint of an oak moss / greeny grassy dry down. So I'm absolutely loving Le Maroc Pour Elle, the current formulation, and I'm glad to have this second sample. When I ordered these samples, I didn't know I was going to go to Les Senteurs, so that's why I've doubled up on the sample, but that's good because I got to wear through the whole sample. Now I'm going to wear through this sample, but it is absolutely on my Christmas list. I'm probably going to do a Christmas wish list, which will be perfumes I want to buy for myself for Christmas. I'm not expecting anyone else to buy me any perfumes, but I am probably going to treat myself to a few because I had to cancel my holiday. I don't know, I think I explained in another in another video, but I don't know which video is going to go up first. But basically I've got some health problems and I had to cancel my holiday, but I'm able to claim, I believe, on the insurance. I've started the process and I've decided if the insurance pay out, which they should, there's no reason why they shouldn't. I'm definitely ill and I've got a doctor's note, or I will have a doctor's note. So most people go to the doctor to get them to sign them off from work. And I went to the doctor, A, because I was really ill, and B, because I needed a note to sign me off of going on holiday, would you believe it, so that I could claim on the insurance and not lose out. So with that money, when it comes back, I am going to treat myself to some perfumes, and Le Maroc Pour Elle is absolutely way up on the top of that list of things I want to buy. And now I have Golestan to consider as well. And where did I put that? So Goldston has become less floral. Not less floral, just different. It's calmed down in the floral arena. It's not so bam bam, thank you ma'am floral. It's more almost hay-like. So I don't know if there's coumarin or tonka or something, but it is. It's giving me hay, warm hay on a sunny day, with a gentle florals. Yeah. Really nice. Really, really impressed with Goldston, and absolutely, I think Le Maroc Pour Elle is always going to be very dear to my heart because of my memories of in getting into niche. And I remember the first time I went to Les Senteurs, tracking it down in London, trying to figure out how to use tubes and stuff, and finding myself at Les Senteurs and getting loads of samples, and then just having to have Le Maroc Pour Elle. And so it's always going to be a special perfume for me. I think if you really like a good strong floral with an ambery base, yeah, give it a go, give it a try. It's very incensey as well. I didn't mention that. So it smells to me like, I don't know, it's not smoky really. Maybe there's, I don't know that I'd say it's smoky. So it's unlit incense to me. It's like a bunch of incense sticks and you're smelling them unlit, and but you've also got dense rose and jasmine and it's beautiful caramelized resins underneath. Stunning, absolutely stunning fragrance, and I don't know why people really don't talk about it anymore. They should. It's just absolutely stunning. So that's it then. Thank you for watching. Before I go, I just want to say a huge and a massive and a big and a loud thank you to Wildflowers, who very kindly supported me on Ko-fi. We're going back a couple of weeks now, and I haven't got around to saying thank you. It's a very generous, supporting gesture, and I was quite overwhelmed by it. So thank you so much to Wildflowers. And of course, if you would like to support me on Ko-fi, the link is in the description. That's all then. I will see you in another video, and thank you so much for watching, putting up with this terrible lighting situation.